human cost of the election violence that was there, but also revisiting all the moments and what we can do better so that we can have more peaceful elections. You know, when we're heading into Christmas, we prayed that it can be a more peaceful festive season, and it really happened. So right now we are wanting to see or witness a more peaceful election, which is going to be the 2026. But of course, we have to first discuss what happened, where did we go wrong, what can be done better for us to be able and achieve that. Now, joining me here is my brother who had gone for a very long time, but I'm glad that he is back and a very good fan of Villa, Soccer Club Villa. I don't know how it is faring right now, but he will be able. Yes, he will be able to tell us how Express is performing out there. But most importantly, I'm glad to introduce to you Afande Baboiniki here with me, joining me. Thank you so much for coming back once again. How is Express performing?
Thank you, Comrade Luke. To the viewers, I say good morning. And, you know, we are in fasting period. To our brothers, the Muslims, it is Ramadan time. To the Christians, we're in the period of Lent. And I want to extend my sincere gratitude to God and to those of you that are fasting and pray that everything transpires well through this period. My name is Superintendent of Police, Thomas Baboiniki. I'm the Community Liaison Officer for Chira Road Police Division. For those of you that I've always told you, Chira Road Police Division is a division in Kampala Metropolitan that covers areas of Kamocha, Chevando, Ntinda, parts of Kololo, Chanja, Chiwatule, Komamboga, and the rest of those areas. So, as we are talking about Chira Road, that's the area where I'm the head of public education and sensitization. So today I'm happy to be on Family TV.
All right. And now I think we are going to revisit what transpired yesterday, but actually along the whole process, the whole period, because when we're talking about the elections, we'll be talking about present, past, and of course the future regarding the whole process of election. So according to you, can you give us a scenario of what transpired during this by-election, Kawempe, ever since we had unfortunate news of the passing of Muhammad Segrinya and now replacing him, the entire process? How has the security, majorly the police, been involved in this case, and also having better cooperation with the civilians who play a crucial role in the electoral process?
First of all, I want to condole with the people of Kawempe North, who first of all lost their representative, that is the late Honorable Segrinya Muhammad, but also now congratulate them upon the successful completion of the exercise that ended yesterday with the announcement of the ultimate winner of the election. And I take the opportunity to congratulate the winner. It is politics, it is fair play, and it is a democratic process that our constitution designated that at one time we should have leadership, and that this leadership should be elected, and that's what transpired in Kawempe North. So I congratulate all of you. You know, Kawempe North is part of Chira Road Policing Division. The parishes of Komamboga, Chikaya, and Chevando are policed by Chira Road Police Division. So yesterday, and from the date of nomination, even the days preceding nomination, you realize that we had engagements with the people of Kawempe North. But like you've said, I don't want to take pride at a personal level in the processes, and I don't think any one of you should be so much proud to a largest extent, because we had a few issues that when you look at them, they are totally regrettable. Yeah, I think all of us, as all units concerned, the police, the entire security apparatus, the press, the civil society, the political parties, and persons in the contest, at a personal level, I wouldn't want to take pride in it.
Okay.
Because some things would have been avoidable, but maybe because the way politics and elections are structured, that it is a contest where someone must win and should be seen to be in control of the whole electoral system. You realize that sometimes these confrontations, the altercations, they exist. So Kawempe North is not an isolated case. And the way on part of security, how we handled the situation, it was always based on what we always encountered on ground. I'm telling you, the ground was not as friendly as you can think.
Yeah,
like I've told you, it is a contest. People come to win it or win it. And in such circumstances where someone is not trying to give a chance to the other, you realize that now the duty of us people in uniform and in the intelligence services, we will need to come in and try to make the ground level. We use what is within our best, using the possible laws and guidelines to try and create tranquility, public order, social cohesion, such that whatever that you see, whatever that you saw from the time the post fell vacant, we have tried our best to ensure that the people of Kawempe go through the process and they do get the leader they deserve, the leader they choose for themselves. And I want to say I'm happy that it did come to an end, but I believe we need to do better. We need to work on our rules of engagement and see that we do not create scenes that look ugly in the face of whoever is seeing. But like I've always said, our role is to secure all persons, including minorities, because as we are giving security, all people must be considered. It's a human right for someone to choose for themselves a leader, the right to freedom of choice, the right to freedom of expression, which is what we are even going into, being this is 2025. Already the primaries of some political parties are going to begin. So what does it call for? We need now to act on our way we encounter with the situations. We need to be a little obedient. We need to be compliant. As security, we will be there. The guidelines will be issued by the necessary bodies. The Electoral Commission will issue guidelines. The police and the other security agencies will come in to ensure that people do enjoy their rights. We create an environment, a platform through which the people can freely exercise their rights. So we are there, never feel intimidated. Sometimes we encounter situations where we have to multiply our force, graduate the force to suit the threat that is always eminent to the candidates, to the security forces, to the elections officials. So when we realize that we have graduated the force, feel at ease, just be willing to be compliant, then we will always move on. We have nothing personal. We do not segregate, we do not discriminate while we are enforcing these guidelines.
Okay. And now as we head into the next elections that are yet to come up, because I guess even the primaries for the ruling party are soon to start this year, and also we shall see other activities coming in, but just like the roadmap is yet to be released. What lessons do we pick from this recently concluded election?
The lessons are quite many, but to begin with, I want to emphasize one important aspect is mutual respect. Okay. You respect me, I respect you. Then people are remaining and operating within their lanes. In this recently concluded election of Kawempe North, the by-election, you realize that as we were going about our different duties and functions, you realize that there are people that would always want to perform your tasks. Then there are people who want to make the situation ungovernable. So that's why I'm encouraging that whenever we are in any processes, it is important to respect the duties of the other. And as we are enjoying rights, let's remember that we are duty bound. Under Article 43 of the Constitution, it will tell you that whereas you're enjoying your rights, put into consideration the rights of others. Like we always encountered issues with directing processions, where because we know it is campaign period, you need to meet and gather up with your supporters, your fans, your electorate, and all that. But we always are required that for us who are mandated to provide security, to regulate processions and gatherings, we are supposed to direct. We are supposed to give guidelines, and we are supposed to be in the lead, because we know what takes place on which street, we know what takes place in which particular locality, and we are always coordinated. Our communication network is always up to task. So you realize that at a time when we are saying that let's follow this lane, let's follow this route, the others want to follow their own route, which is completely against the way we operate. So I want us, as we move into the subsequent elections, to try and respect each other's duties. And whereas you're enjoying your rights, know that you are duty bound to, first of all, within your means and power, to respect the other. So you realize that the right of another will take precedent over the enjoyment of your personal right. Like, for example, you are not just going to move freely in a public space. It is a marketplace. And we've told you today is Friday. You know very well Kamocha will be having a public market. So you must put into consideration that you do not need to disturb those that are going about with their lawful duties and business. Now, when we guide you and say it may not be possible on this day, we demand that we will come, we sit on a round table, we harmonize. Harmonization is very, very important. So when we do that, then at times we need to try and be considerate. You know, it is you want it, but another person also wants it.
Sure.
Yeah. So why should it be you and you alone? So that kind of selfish ambitions, I believe we need to tame it and try to move about. So it is not a do or die. I've always told Ugandans that for me, I'm a born of 1989. Many people have lived in this country. They found it, they left it. No, we also now have a duty to live in it peacefully, harmoniously, and also we prepare it for the next generations to enjoy a good Uganda. Look, me and you, at least we have seen stability. We've grown up into stability in a situation where there is absence of war and armed conflict. Sure. The only things we can look at are these crimes that come with the urbanization, then character and all that. So it is very unfortunate. It is so sad that someone would want to live in a chaotic environment. I've always told, my friends have always told me that in Sudan, the Sudan of Khartoum, that the situation today, it started as, a joke, people fighting for political reforms, people fighting for social inclusion and all of that, which is correct. It's absolutely everyone's right to defend and live within their comfort. But for as long as the actions for you to achieve the end do compromise the interests of the nation, the security of the nation, be sure that some of the rights will be curtailed. The right for you to assemble may be curtailed for reasons related to public order. But there are only a few rights which are 4 in number, which must not be curtailed. That is the right to freedom from torture. I'm telling you, as Uganda police, as the government, we do not entertain and we do not condone any acts of torture. It is illegal, torture is illegitimate, and all of us, wherever we stand, wherever we operate from, we should lead a campaign against torture of Ugandans. It is absolutely, you cannot at any time justify the reason for torturing a Ugandan. And like me, at a personal level, I want to send my sympathies to our friends, the journalists that suffered the wrath of yesterday. Maybe we didn't handle the situation better. We needed to have engaged to ensure that at least we do not graduate to a situation where one of the major stakeholders do withdraw from the process and the exercise. So to our friends in the media, at a personal level, I will say we regret whatever that happened, but we are willing to do better. What I know for a fact is that as the police leadership, the National Security Council, there will be an after-action review process. And we will look into where we didn't do well. And I believe all stakeholders will be involved. Then we try and see how we can put this right. Yes, we should try to guard against a repeat of the same. It is not good because we need you. We need the media. The media needs us. We should protect you at a time we are in the field. But what is important is always to have how we can operate together without infringing on the rights of the other and the duties of the other.
Wow, that is very, very important and a strong call. We really appreciate. And as a journalist here, I take in the apology very, very well. It is not something that we have seen from many, but we really appreciate you so much. So we are still continuing with this discussion, though we are going in for a very short break and return. Now we want to see what is your role as a civilian when it comes to such. What was supposed to be our role yesterday or even throughout the entire season to make sure that we have a peaceful and fair election. So the role of a civilian is also what we want to tackle so that we can relate it to security and see how peace can prevail.
High School is a home away from home for your child. We are a global hub for Christ-centered education and services with a mission
Okay.
of Christ-centered services and skilled emerging leaders through quality education. We are equipped
Wachi mundeka preview.
breathtaking environment suitable.
Issues at hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Oh yes, welcome back. You are still watching Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV, and today we are talking about, we are revisiting what transpired yesterday and throughout the entire election process of the Kawempe North by-election, but also looking further ahead because we are now in the electoral season of when we want to change leadership, that is in 2026. So, and this is just months away. Even the activities have already started. I always caution, if you look around your place, trust me, a number of posters have been put up. People are already showing interest in the positions they are going to be coming in. Now, in such a period, what is a civilian supposed to do? What is your role to ensure that there is peace? And this is a peaceful process. It's a peaceful electoral process. What is your role as a civilian is what I want SP Baboiniki here to tell us in this regard.
Yeah, thank you, sir. You realize as today, as we are talking about the shortcomings and all that, yeah, on the part of those that got involved in the process, and when we say civilian, will mean each and every one of you other than the armed officers.
Yes.
So, for the case, I will begin with those that are not candidates and that are not pressmen, that are not in the media. So you are going to realize that you, as a fan, as a supporter, as an agent, as a coordinator of a certain political party or candidate, you have a duty, first of all, to know what the law says. Because in the absence or in the case where you do not know the legal framework governing the exercise, believe me or not, there are possibilities of committing errors. So let us accustom ourselves to knowing which regulations governs which exercise. Like, for example, it will be not right for someone to move into an election as an agent, as a supporter, without knowing what the Constitution of Uganda requires of them. So, like I said, whereas we have rights, we have duties to fulfill, first of all. As a Ugandan citizen who is preparing to go into an election, you should know that you must be a registered voter, and you should be a Ugandan.
Sure.
There shouldn't be any mistake for which you, a non-Ugandan, should even try to get involved in a national election within Uganda. So your role is to know that the law supports your actions and that indeed you are willing to always defend your actions based on the law. So there should be that legal provision. Now, after you have known that, you have a duty to always remain calm. You see, calmness, respect for others, there is a way it helps to even make hard situations subside. Because you are going to be in a situation where you will be provoked. And you know very well that maybe in the absence of security, as people are trying to canvass for votes, you realize that people will now provoke each other. And that provocation is an offense under the law, that you are not supposed to provoke the other candidate. The other supporters. You have a right to go about your campaigns, you have a right to go about your other electoral activities, but make sure that you do not infringe on the rights of others.
Yes.
So guard yourselves against provocation. And even if you've been provoked, don't take it too far. You have a duty not to confront. You have a duty to maybe divert your other actions and avoid a situation you are going to confront others. So if for us that want to engage in electoral processes, understand the scope of of what we can do and what we cannot do, then it will help us a little better. So we are in a situation, let us all understand that politics is a contest. All people want to win.
Yes.
So in the process of wanting to win, others now take it for a matter of life and death. So it is not a matter of life and death. If they have chosen you to lead others, it will be your chance. And look, me as a believer, I do believe that all leadership, all responsibility is from God.
Yeah.
The Bible tells us. So there will be no that authority except when God has ordained you to. So whereas we can always go about canvassing for votes, God might have ordained someone to be in charge of that particular position. So let's try to respect each other. Let's try to now be obedient. You see, obedience, respect, and compliance, I presume it means the same thing. But to you that are viewing us today, I want you to understand that when you are into a system that is regulated, your duty 001 is to ensure that you respect and obey. And obedience is a virtue. You know, I'm a believer. I can never forget reciting the Bible, which I believe in.
Okay.
God himself tells us that if you want to enjoy the fruits, you must be obedient. But if you do the otherwise, if you are defiant, then also the reverse will happen to you. So as voters, as candidates, as campaigning agents, now as the civil society, as the other non-state actors, we need to educate others, because ignorance of purpose at times it breeds inconsistencies. You know, you do not know why you are in the process. So at the end of the day, what you will do will be against the norms and the principles of the process. So acquaint yourself with the law. I'm happy that Family TV gives us now this airtime to speak to the public. Also, other people should come up and educate the people. What does the Presidential Elections Act have to say? What does the Parliamentary Elections Act have to say? What does the Political Party and Organizations Act have to say? Such that you are within the correct legal framework. What does the Police Act has to say? Because whether you want it or not, the duty, the responsibility to manage, to regulate processions, gatherings, public assemblies will always lie with the police. So what do you have to do? As you organize, as you plan to go into one, please liaise with us. We are not anyone's enemies. Our duty is to serve all Ugandans without discrimination. And it is your human right, individual human right, not to be discriminated against. So when you realize that your rights are being trampled upon, please make an appeal. Go to where you can raise your complaint. I'm happy you saw in the recent elections, one of the candidates went and complained before court that indeed he was unfairly treated. So it will be court to put that complaint to trial, such that at the end of the day it will come up with a verdict and say, maybe here you did right, here someone erred, and that will help us to correct ourselves, all of us combined, the police, the security apparatus. Like I've told you, for us from today onwards, I believe press conference will be held before a press conference, but I believe meetings will be held to review really what happened, why are these issues cropping up, where can we do better. Then at a later time, an official position will be communicated, and we are going to continue engaging you. We are not enemies to anyone. We are here to serve and give you the best. Above all, secure our Uganda, secure our environment, such that at the end of the day, after elections, after any engagement, we can always be in position to go about our businesses. Okay. It's very dangerous for us to allow the economy of the country to break down just for purposes of a single process. So whatever that will be happening, you, the person that is seeing me out there, let's take it on. It is our singular responsibility to protect our country from any kind of chaos, from any kind of conflict, such that we live in it. Let us be the cornerstone of security within the region, and indeed we are. I want to applaud all the men in uniform. I want to applaud all our partners for giving us that kind of support to try and secure our country, and indeed we are enjoying the best that we can. Let's leave what has transpired in the past, but let's build on it to make our Uganda more safe.
Oh wow, very interesting. And I understand during such a process, even the contestants have a very big role to play in regards to peace, because if you do not, as a contestant, sensitize or talk to your voters, and they are arrogant or they are doing something, things are going to be shady. They are going to turn out badly. What do you think is the role of these contestants towards calming situations that can be created somehow, somewhere, in the long run of peaceful elections?
Yeah, first of all, as a contestant, you need to prevail over your team. You know, whatever that will always happen will always be held onto the flag bearer.
Yeah.
You are the flag bearer, you are the vision bearer, you are the commander in that aspect. So each and every time when your team errs, you know very well the world can be unfair. The errors may be attributed to you. Take for example, for us in command, in police, you realize that we have a command structure from the IGP up to the last officer down. That is the police constable or the special police constable. So when you as a commanding officer, you fail to tame your team, you have what we call a vicarious liability. So you may be charged for not prevailing over your personnel. So equally, in politics, as a flag bearer, as a contestant, you have a duty to prevail over your team. You have a duty to organize your team. You have a duty to ensure that your team is compliant and disciplining your team. Because amongst them, you know, I want to sympathize with you that for you, as you go about canvassing for votes, you are inviting everyone on board.
Yes.
You do not know how they do come and which kind of character they come with. Only to realize that you are having a procession, but within your very procession, there are people you can't control.
Yes.
People are going about looting, people are going about assaulting others, and pretending to be in your camp. So you realize that you have to have a sieve for which you can use to ensure that your campaign team, yourself, you are blameless. So let's try to create a profile that reflect obedience, that represents people that are law-abiding, and we create a profile that is not known for bad actions. So, you know, you have to be known by your deeds, but your actions will always matter. You will always say whatever you have to say, but what you do will always be taken for what you are. So as contestants and as leaders of political parties, let's try to mentor, let's try to prevail over, let's be in control of the people that we lead. You may not be the problem, but from the team you're leading may emanate a problem. So it is our duties, we will always remain with the duties to mobilize, but also control and be in charge of the teams that we lead. With that, I think the processes can always be peaceful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very interesting. Now, when heading into such activities, or even revisiting what happened during this previous one, how do you think there can be coexistence between all players? Maybe the electoral process, the police themselves, security forces, the media practitioners, the contestants, then also the voters. How can there be coexistence to find that at least we are all chasing one goal, finishing the election process, and then head on to next things?
Yeah, what we have to know, first of all, we belong to Uganda. Unless if you are saying otherwise, Uganda is for us. A good Uganda is good for everyone, irrespective of a political affiliation.
Yes.
So what we have to know is that in the event of conflict, no one will be left unaffected. All of us may test the wrath of conflict. Like I've told you, me and you may not have tested that, lawless and ungovernable society. And we should take pride in it and try to uphold it. Now, let's realize that we need each other. For as long as there is that realization, then we take it on and embed it in whatever that we do on a daily basis. We can see how better we can coexist. Coexistence shouldn't be forced on us. Let us know that we all need it. You and me, you need to be around people, because when you are defining the term community, it is a group of people that live and work together in simple terms. So how are you going to live in a community where you want to live in isolation? Why are you going to segregate against others? Now, to begin with, we should begin the engagements as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Yes. Now, it is through these engagements that we'll get to know and understand what each one of us can have to do. Because engagements should always, be at every step that we undertake. In the beginning process, let's engage. When we are midway the process, let's engage. Towards the end of the process, even after the process, like I've told you, Kawempe North has ended. We are now diving into another phase. Let's not stop engagements. And as police, as security, we have always called upon all stakeholders to come and we engage, because we believe sometimes why we get into this altercation is because people don't know what to expect. You do not know what I have to deliver. And because you do not know, you will have a smaller scope of what you know, and you will believe that that is the end of it all. So when we engage, we even get to learn about what others do and what others are mandated to do. So in the process, you realize that even the person you considered an enemy, at least you will scale down and term them as opponents until a time when we can always think and act that in a fair way. So for me and for you that are viewing us today, you know that we must keep engaging. And as we engage, let's try to tame our ego. What in most cases disturbs us is wanting to have it and have it all, even when the situation does not favor you. So we must learn to tame our ego. Like I've told you, if you are not chosen, you are not chosen. It is the will of God who acts through the people. So don't take it for that maybe like for if I stood today for an electoral position and Luke does not support me, should I say it is not normal? Within your own conviction, you feel I'm not worth, and it's not a crime for you to think otherwise.
True.
So it is at this point that, ladies and gentlemen, we need each other. We need to build our country. We need to further the developments that we have today, and we don't need to break down our systems. Let's allow the systems to work. Let's work through them. Let's enjoy what Uganda has for us. It is just good to live in a peaceful Uganda. It is just good to live with a neighbor whom you know that is not planning or scheming anything against you. So when we live peacefully and freely amongst ourselves, that is the best. It is leadership, and the good thing, it comes after every 5 years. Who knows? Today it is you, tomorrow it's another person. So true. Let's respect the timings. If the timing is not yours, respect it. Go down and work upon that. But even when things don't work out, maybe it was not meant for you. So what I can tell people, I will phrase it in Luganda, toka kambera. Bwekiba kiganye, let it go, move on. It's not the end of life. You have something better for you. So with that, I believe we are going to be good to go. Our country will be safe. Together, we shall operate as Ugandans, and everything will be good for us.
Wow. I believe that is a very strong message that has been sent out to us majorly. everyone, do not force things. If you feel this is not me this time, it's okay. Accept the situation, accept the results, accept the outcomes, and yes, head on. Because yes, just like Afande here noted, in most cases we have wanted to assure that this is it and this is it. I have to achieve it and I have to achieve it no matter how to achieve it well. I want to appreciate you so much for giving us such information. We are just cut short by time, otherwise we would have had more of this inspirational talk from Afande here. Well, I will kindly request for last remarks as we head out of here.
Yeah, my last remarks, they will not be any different from what I've always said. In this life that we live, we have a duty to love one another.
Oh, yes.
There is no reason for you to have naturally generated hate against another person. Even when we can have a contest like the recently concluded elections, it is our duty to ensure that we remain in love. So what do I have to say? You out there who is watching me, today you have people in your neighborhood, you have friends. Please aim at, creating a smiling face. Aim at creating a favorable environment. Aim at having a positive effect in the lives of others, such that you can always take pride in that. Today we have very many people who are not doing well. If you have a coin and it is in surplus, you can pass it over to the next person that is in need of it. We have our friends that are in the hospitals. Let's take time, go visit them, pray with them, intercede on their behalf, and ask God to prevail over in their lives, and things get better. So I urge all of us to remain obedient, to have the regards for others, and be good citizens. Let's uphold the goodness, for it is what the Lord demands from us. I want to say thank you, Family TV, for hosting me today, and always I want to say thank you to the viewers. It's been a nice engagement. In case you want to get in touch with me, Chira Road Police Station is where you may find me. Please, I'm always available to your service, and as the Uganda Police Force, we are committed to protecting you through all processes, through this life. Always ensure that you call on us in case of emergencies, in case you want to make any inquiries. We are there. For God and my country, wish you a good day.
Well, thank you so much, Superintendent of Police Baboiniki Tomas, who has given us this wonderful information, and he is the Community Liaison Officer for Chira Road Police Division. We appreciate you so much. Well, I want to appreciate you as well for joining us this morning. We cannot go past this. My name is Luke Majumba Alnaitoi. Have a blessed day, and also have a blessed weekend.